Alright, hi. Today's reading is the American Railway Signal Principles and Practices, Chapter 22, Manual Controlled Manual Block Systems and Fundamental Theory of Direct Current. Published by the Single Section AAR, 30 Vesey Street, New York, New York. American Railway Signals Principles and Practices, Chapter 22, Manual Controlled Manual Block Systems and Fundamental Theory of Direct Current. Copyrighted 1937 by the Association of American Railroad, single section, printed in the United States of America. Alright, the Manual and Controlled Manual Block System of the Standard Code of the American Railways Association defines the following: a block system as a series of consecutive blocks. A manual block system as a series of consecutive blocks governed by block signals operated manually upon information of the telegraph and telephone, other means of communication. Controlled manual block systems, a series of consecutive blocks governed by block signals controlled by the control continuous track series operated manually upon information of the telegraph, telephone, and other means of communication, so constructed as to require the cooperation of signalmen as both ends of the block to display a clear and permissive block signal. A block station, a place where the block signals are operated. A block, a length of the track defined, the use of which of the trains is governed by the block signal. Fixed trains, a single fixed location indicated with the condition affecting the movement of the train. The block fixed signal at the entrance of the block to govern the trains entering the using of the block. In general, in this chapter, no attempt will be made in any event of indicate chronological order of the sequence of events leading to the adoption or operation of the train under the block system as the folly recovered in Chapter 1 of development of the railway signaling service. To say the block system means the maintain of the fixed minimum interval space between the two trains in the same direction on the same track, and to prevent two trains traveling in the opposite direction from meeting on the same track. Right. Prior to the adoption of block system, a predetermined interval time was means used to avoid collisions. The time interval still is in use on roads, but in parts of the roads when trains usually follow with only another of only too long intervals. There are three general types of block system used in the American Railroad: the designated manual, controlled manual, and automatic. Definitions for the first two are herein stated, with the automatic block system described in Chapter 15. The rules, in order to that the reader may have the best conception of the operating of the trains under the block system, and the rules formed the manual and controlled manual block system containing the standard code are quoted with the note that the rules from the prefix M of the manual block system M are for the manual block system. Those prefixed with C's are for controlled manual block, and the rules of prefixes for the manual and controlled block systems are prefixes M and C are to be printed with italics. 305 the black signal governs the use of the block unless otherwise provided with do not supersede the superiority of the trains, nor dispensing with the use of the observance of the other signals whenever and wherever they may be required. C305 means the controlled manual block signal governing use of the blocks unless otherwise provided with the indication of superseded with the timetable superiority, and takes place if the train orders that do not dispense the use of the observance of the original other signal whenever and wherever they may be required. 306 whenever a block station is open at a irregular hour, the trains must be notified with the train order, and special instructions, special precautions must be taken to call the attention of the train approaching with the block signal to the indication of the block signal. Signalmen. 311 signals must be kept in the position displaying the most restrictive indication except when displayed with immediate movement. 312 the appliance must be operated with carefully and only with those charged within that duty. The irregular affecting the operation of the detected with the signal must be displayed to give it the most restrictive indication until repairs are made. Signalmen must be observed as far as practicable whether the indication of the signal corresponds with the position of the levers. 314 signal men must not take no permit on unauthorized repairs or alterations, additions to the apparatus. 315 a block required to be kept at each block station. Block record must be kept at each block station. 315. Alright, manual controlled manual block system. 316 communication code 1, display the stop signal. 13, I understand. 17, display stop signal. Train following. 2, block clear. 3, block wanted by the train other than passenger. 36, block wanted for a passenger train. 4, train other than passenger has entered the block. 46, passenger train has entered the block. 5, there is no clear of the train other than passenger. 56, block is not clear of the passenger train. 7, the train and following. 8 is the open block station. Answers the 2, 5, and 56. And 9, closing block station followed by 2 or block clear. If the block is cleared, to be answered by the following 13, I understand, and 56 block is not clear for the passenger train. When 2 or more tracks are used in the same direction, signalman is using the communication code, but must also specify the track. 317A is to admit the train to be blocked. The signal must examine the block record. If the block is clear, give it the 1 for the blank, and to the next block station, advance the signalman receiving the signal. If the block is clear, must display the stop signal and opposing to the reply with a 2, which is block clear. The first one was display and the block clear, and when necessary, unblock with the new next block in the rear. The block is not clear. He must reply with 5. The block is not clear for the train or other passengers. Or 56. The block is not clear for the passenger train. The signalman at the entrance of the block must display the proper signal indication. Quote this. A train must not be admitted to the block unless it's clear, except for the provided with the rules M33, M333 and C33, which is manual and control 33 rule by train order 317B. To admit the train by the block, the signal must be examined. The block record of the block is clear for the given 3 or 36, which is block wanted for the train other than passenger, and block wanted for the passenger train. If to the next block of the station, advance the signalman receiving the signal the block is clear must display the stop signal and to oppose the train to reply to 2, which is the block is clear, and 4, when necessary to block in the rear. If the blockman is not clear, he must reply with 5 or 56 of sorry, I got it not 5. Block is not clear of the other passenger train, or the block is not clear for the passenger train. And as is, the signalman at the entrance of the block must be displayed with the proper signal indication. The train must not admit to the block when it is occupied with the opposing train of the passenger train, except provided by the rules the Manual Rule 33 3 and Control Rule 33 3, or the train order. To permit a train to follow the train other than a passenger train in block, signal must give the 17 for 17 is displaying stop signal not the train under the following. And for the next block station, advance the signalman receive the signal. If there's no passenger train in the block, must reply to 5 or 5 of 13.4, which is block is not clear for the passenger train, and I understand. Approaching train will then be admitted to the block blank. Note that Rule 316, additions for the communication code may be made if the desired but the telephone is used for the code will be used without numerals. Note that 317A is for an absolute block of the following opposing movements on the same track. Note that Rule 317B of the Rule 317 an absolute block of the opposing movements and permissive block of the following movements on the same track under the permissive signal with the clearance of the form B. 318A. To admit the train to the block signal, they must examine the block of the record, but the block is clear with giving the 3 or 36, which is block is wanted for the train other than passenger, and 36 is block is wanted for the passenger train. To the next block station, advance the signalman receiving the signal as the block is clear for the reply of the 2 for block is clear, and when the necessary unlock with the next block within the rear, the block is not clear with the reply of the 5 or 56, which is block is not clear for the other passenger train, and block is clear block is not clear of passenger train. The signalman entrance of the block must then display the proper signal indication. Quoted that the train may not be admitted to the block unless it is clear, except for the provided with the rules and manual 333 and control 333 of the train order 318. B. To admit the train to the block, signal must examine the block record. The block is not occupied with the train, or to give it the 3 or 36 of the next block signal in advance. Which is the block wanted for the passenger and block wanted for the passenger train. And the next block station is in advance with the signalman received with the block of the clear must reply with the 2 of the 2 for the, and when necessary unlock the next block and clear. So 2 is block is clear, and then it goes to When necessary to unlock the next block is rear. If the block is not clear, he must reply for the F of or 56 of the single men at the entrance blockway to display the proper signal indication. 5 and 56 are this block is not clear for the train or other passenger train. Block is not clear for passenger train. The signalman entrance to the block must display the proper signal. The train must not be admitted occupied with the passenger except with the provided rules M333 or C333. Train or train may be permitted to follow the train other than passenger train into a block of blank. 319. When a train enters the block, the signal must give 4 or 46. Four 46. Train other than the passenger has entered the block, and the passenger entered the block. Passenger train has entered the block. At the time of the next block's advance, the train has passed with the home block signal. The signalman with the C and the markers has been displayed. The stop signal. The rear of the train has passed blank feet. Beyond the home of the block signal, he must give the record of the train to the next block station. In the rear, the information must be entered on the block records. All right, 320. Unless otherwise provided, the signalman must not ask for the block until they have received a report of the train from the next block station in the rear, nor unlock the next block in the rear until the block is asked by the block station. 321. Signalman must be, as far as practicable, observe all the passing trains, note whether they are complete in order or the marks are properly displayed. 322. Should a train pass the block station, indication conditions endangering the train and another track of the signal must immediately notify the signalman of the next blocking station in advance. To each of the must stop the signals, all the trains must be effective and must not permit the trains to proceed until they known that the track is not obstructed. Also note that 318A and Rule 318A for the absolute block for the following movement only. The Rule 318B. The Rule 318B is for permissive block for the following movements only under permissive signal of the clearance form B. Note that Rules 317A, 317B, 318A, 318B has desired for the train dispatcher shall control the display of the block signal. Railroads may be modified with Rule 317A, 317B, 318A, 318B so to provide such practice. Note that 317A and 317B and 318B and A and B and 319 blank the rules of 317A, 317B, 318A, 318B, and 319 are to be filled with the number of the designation of the train except otherwise noted. And 323, should a train without the markers of the block station, the signalman must notify the signalman at the next block station in either direction, must not report the train clear of the block and unlock the next block in the rear that has ascertained that the train is complete. 324, should the train pass the block station in two or more parts of the signal, man must stop all the trains moving in the same direction, notify the signalman at the next block and station in advance. The signalman has received the notice of must stop all the trains moving in the opposite direction. Stop signal must display to the engine man of the part of the train, and the train cannot and be admitted with the block advance with the block signal. Rules of the train parted signal must be given. They should be in either direction. Stop. They may be permitted to proceed when known that the track is obstructed. 325. The signalman informed with any obstruction and block is admitted with notify the signalman at the other end of the block. Each of the display stop signals of all the trains that may be affected must not permit any of the trains to proceed until it is known that the track is not obstructed. 327. When the train takes a siding otherwise clears the main track of the signalman must know that the clear of the block before giving the displaying with the clear blocks clear signal with the block. The signalman must be obtained with the control of the block before permitting the train or re-entering the block. 327. To permit a train to cross over with the return with unless otherwise provided with the signalman must examine the block record. If all the blocks affected with the clear with approaching of the train has been arranged with the signalman at the next block station in each of the direction to protect the movement when the proper signals have been displayed, the permission may be given until the block is clear of no train that must be admitted with the direction crossover switches except as permissible signals or clearance form B. All crossover movements must be entered in the block record. 328. When the coupled trains are separated prescribed in Rule 364, the signalman must regard with each of the portion of the independent train. 329. When necessary to stop the train for which the clear or permissive signal has been displayed with accepted with the signalman must be given the hands on signal in addition to display of the stop signal. 320. A signalman having the train order the train display of the block signal at the stop, he may permit the train to stop and proceed under the block signal rules after complying with the rules of movement of the train order. M331. When the change of the failure block separate apparatus, the block signal cannot be changed with the most restrictive indication the signalmen have than the information from the signalmen of the next block station in advance for that the block is clear may admit the train to block by using the clearance form A. If the block is occupied with a train other than opposing the train, other than a passenger train, the signalman may admit the following train by using clearance form B. C31, Rule 31. Control block Rule 31. When the failure of the block signal apparatus, the block signal cannot be changed for its most restrictive indication. When the signal is unable to communicate with the next block station in advance, that he may admit the train to block by using clearance form B. All right. Rule 332. Operating lever must be blocked and marked and should not be used when the track of the switch signal undergoing the repairs with the track is obstructed. Manual controlled block Rule 3033. When for any of the causing of the signalman is unable to communicate with the next block station in advance, he must stop until all the trains approaching the direction should know cause the detaining of the train that may know that may be permitted to proceed. The clearance form B provided with the blank minutes and they have elapsed since the passage of the last proceeding train. Alright, the controlled rule for 333, the signalman is unable to communicate with the next block station in advance for the form of the failure of the block signal apparatus. The block signal cannot be changed with the normal indication. He must set his signal or other apparatus display of the most restrictive indication. Stop all the trains approaching with the direction governed by the instruction from the blank, and if unable to communicate with the blank, he will, after any of the train from which 2 and 13 have been given to the next block station in advance, he be cleared with the permit with the trains to proceed with the timetable or other train order of the clearance form B under stop signal. Alright, Rule 334. Hand signals must not be used, but the proper indication can be displayed with the block signal except with the provided with the Rule 329 and 343. When the hand signals are not necessary, or hand signals are necessary, they must be given from the place to place in such a way that there can be no misunderstanding on the part of the engine man and the trainman as to signal and the train engine for which they are intended. But the Rule 335 of the block signal with the track apply only with the trains moving with the current with the track on the track. Signalman, you will use the blank for the block train for the moving against the current train. The current of traffic 336, the signalman will be held responsible for the care of the block station lamps, the supplies, and unless otherwise provided with the signal apparatus. 337, the lights and blocks the signals must be placed so that they cannot be seen for the approaching train. 338, if the train overruns the stop signal, the fact must be reported. 339, the stop signal disregard with the face of the fact that must be reported with the next block station in advance. And then 2, the 340, that you open the block station, the signalman must give the 8 or the next block station in the direction with the record of the train that or extent of the block rule. Note that rules control block 3 controls track 331 rule 3031 control track 331 if operation 2 or more of the main track for the following movements only. Note that rule control track 333 rule 333 is operation for the single track on a single track. Note that Rule 334 hand signals include the using of flags, lamp, torpedo, and fuses signal. Note that Rule 335, each railroad may be filled with the blank of the Rule 335 with the kind of the signals that are displayed with the form to be used for the signal men. I'm sorry, it's like catching this, it's like not responding. I guess it's... Alright, he must display the restrictive signal and indication to notify the next block station in each of the direction that the block station is open. When the train with which we're extended to the block station was open, but which has passed with the block station before it was open and clear, the block in advance with he will repeat the record of the block station in the rear. 341, the block station must not be closed except upon authority of the blank, unless otherwise provided with the block station must not be proceeded, must not be closed until the block in each of the direction to clear all of the trains. To close the block station, the signal must give the foul with the 2 of the next block station in each of the direction which received 13 followed by 2 and they enter the next block record with the time received in each of the block station. The block signals must be secured in the blank position. All the lights extinguished from the block wires when necessary. Circuits arranged for the work with the closed block station. 334. When the block station is open, the regular and irregular hour signals must be used. The hand signals in addition with the block signals require the indication until the train has been passed, which have not been notified with the train order by the special instructions. The block station is open. The signalman must take special precautions to call the attention of the train approaching with the block signal into the indications of the block signal. 344. The signalman must not permit unauthorized person to enter the block station. All right, your engine man and train man. Block signal, Rule 361, block signal of the track applied with only the trains moving in the current over the traffic of the current of the track. Blank will be used for the blocking trains moving against the current of the track. And manual control track 362, rule 362. Trains must not pass the stop signal without receiving the clearance from the Form A or clearing from Form B with a train authorized or train order authorizing them to do that. Control track rule 362. The train must not pass the stop signal without receiving the clearance from the Form B of the train order authorized to do so. On the single track, the receiving the clearance Form B when they proceed through the timetable of the train order, the authority accepting the define of the train in the block of the broken rail or switch not properly lined. Rule 363, the train must not proceed on hand signals against block signals through Rule 364 unless otherwise directed with the two or more trains. If they have been coupled and so that move fast to the block station, they must be separated only at the block station and signalman notified. Rule 365, if the train takes a siding otherwise clearance of the main track, and is not again entering the block of the foul of the main track without the permission of the signalman, the train have it authorized being the train have been passed beyond the limits of the block must not back into the block without permission from the signalman. Note that Rule 361, each of the railroad may fill the blank of the Rule 361 with the kind of signals that have been displayed or with the form to be used by the signalman. Rule 367, unless otherwise provided with the necessary for the train to cross over, the signalman must notify the permission obtained with the crossing over the return of the Rule 367, the engine man of the train, which has been parted with the most sound of the whistle, signal of the train parted with the approaching block station. Rule 368, the engine man received with the train parted signal from the signalman must answer with the whistle signal of the train parted. Rule 369, the parted train is recoupled with the signalman must notify the Rule 370, when there is an obstruction between the block stations, notice must be given to the nearest signalman when the train is Rule 371, when the train is stopped by a home or a block signal to the conductor and the engine man must immediately association with the cause. Rule 372, the conductor must report blank any unusual detention of the block station. Rule 373, a block station must be considered closed except as provided from the timetable of the special instruction manual block. As the names imply, the manual block is method, but it's basically trains without which the signals and other means displaying indications are operated manually without electrical, mechanical check, or sometimes only to the rules. Manual block is flexible since the facilities provided with be increased or decreased with the track warns by the shortening and lengthening of the blocks. The protection afforded is against the head-on or rear-end collision of double track. Double track. Figure 1 illustrates a section of the double track with the block station spaced for the approximately 5 miles apart. The signalman of the block operated due to each of the block stations shown the necessary means of the communication between the block stations and between the station of the train dispatcher located at some distance more than near means of the communications are generally telegraphic, telephone, or both. Each block station with the two manually operated block signals with the approaching signal to govern the approach of the train with the block signal when the train passes the block station. The signalman reports the fact of the blocking the station. The signalman with the signalman at B receiving the information makes the entry of the block sheet according to the Rule 318B with the communicating with the signalman at C regarding the condition of the block and displays the proper signal which the train enters blocks B with to the signalman. B communicates the signalman at block C with the given time of the train pass B. When the train has passed the block signal B with the signalman has seen but the markers has been displayed in the stop signal. The rear of the train has passed with the block and specified distance and they must be given the record of the train of the block station A. This information must also enter the block sheet. The block sheet at the block station B would show the time of the train pass for the block station A, B, and C. Should it be necessary for the train to be held at block station B for any reason, this fact would also require a record of the arriving and the departing of the train, but the train beyond with the shorting explanation to cause the train to not be held at the block station only for the time shown which entered into the D or departed from the column. Part of the type typical block sheet record of the block station B is shown in Figure 2. Alright, this shows Figure 1 is arrangement of a block station with on a double track with the station A, B, and D and the different directions in the switches. Alright, provisions made for the fast-moving trains to pass the lower of the moving trains for the using the siding of the shown in Figure 1 of the freight train traveling from A to toward B as passed through C. But the time of the passenger train passes the A, the freight train will not have the time to get the D for the passenger train to reach C. Therefore, the freight train entering the sliding L after the clear of the main track, which closure lock with the conductor reports this fact of the operator with C with the display with the clear signal with the passenger C train with the passes the freight train after the passenger train passes D, the operator gives the permission for the freight train to move with the siding of the proceeding toward D, by referring to Rule 318B, with the will be seen that the train must be not be admitted to the block which is occupied with the passenger train. But if the one freight train is passing another freight train, the slower train can follow the siding as soon as the first train has passed or permission is received by from the operator. Various arrangements are in effect relatively to the method of the follow should be the means of communication failed between the outlying points, but the signalman one method prescribes that if from any cuff the conductor or engineman is unable to communicate with the signalman, either the usual means for the communication for the use of the commercial lines should not cover the detaining of the train to be known, and if it proceeds the block of the rights and timetable authority, it proceeds with the flagman to the next point of the communication and reports to the superintendent. Signal track. Figure 3 illustrates a section of the railroad which the train operated with the both directions the same track that usually necessary for the more siding of the single track territory than a double track. The frequency of the siding is determined by the density of the track, assuming that the two trains of the same class traveling toward each other from the block station A and D, with the traveling from A to D, the superior direction of the train traveling from D to A. This will be necessary for later laddering the train to clearing of on the side before the superior train is due to believe the block station at the siding. The single man at the block station A has obtained the block of the block station B in accordance with Rule 317B, but the clearance of the block signal is displayed with the movements from A to B. The shortly as superior train passes the block station A, but the inferior train, by the opposite direction, approaches block station D. The signal man at D obtains the block station from signal man at C, but the inferior train passes the block station C, but the clear block of the superior train approaches the block station. Signal man has obtained the block of the block station C, but the train is given by the either clear the block station B, with the inferior train approaches the block station B. C, the signalman must be keeping the block signal, and the stop of the position train is approaching from him from each of the direction. The inferior train approaching from D stops for the reaching of the switch and entering to a siding. All right, this shows the A and B railroad. The station record of the train movements. Block A at the block at blank B block station and east and west. Typical block sheet. Figure 3 shows a arrangement of a manual block system on the block station single track. Remember, the train crew set the switch of the movement at the siding of the train that entered the siding when the rear of the train is clear. With the following point, the main track is restored to the normal position. The conductor reports that his train had clear of the main track when the switch is closed or locked. The signalman at the block station of the DNC make properly recorded with the block of the sheets, and the signalman as he requests the block of the signalman at D for the superior train approaching the block station B with the permission of the battalion. But the signalman at C clears the block signal, allowing the superior train to proceed with the block station D without stopping the C. On arriving at the end of the siding of the conductor of the inferior train calls the block of the C with the permission to proceed with the main track of the block station B. The superior train has passed the block station C, and the signalman has recorded it on his block sheet reported, but the signalman at the block B. Signalman at B requires the block from signal B to be permitted the inferior train to proceed toward B. The receiving the permission that he authorizes the train siding to proceed with the block station B. So also he advises him to the condition of the block in which was the case of the clear. Signalman of B obtains the block from the signalman A so that he can display the proper signal for the inferior train as it approaches the block station. In the case of the passenger train, only the one train is permitted with either direction between the block station, with no other train is permitted to occupy the block of the large number of the railroad. Permit the trains to follow each other in the same direction with the same block. The term permits the block on the same with the railroads. Only one train permitted with either direction, same block at the same time. There is known but the absolute block with referring to the rules and quoted in which will be seen with these rules prescribed in the method effective. Various arrangement of the siding are in effect with the different railroads. In some cases, the end of the siding is the block station. In other cases, it must be midway between the block station. While other cases, there may be two more sidings between the block station. Some cases, which were known as lap sidings, are used. One of which is shown in the block station B with Figure 3, which arrangement can be seen in the parallel movements can be made. But these movements are arranged without either train, but the stopping the track once and the side switches may be interlocked or removed out of the spring and attachment. Control block manual. Under the system, the signal can be operated manually controlled by the track circuit without their electrical mechanical agency, subject to the rules already mentioned. In addition, with the operator's communication with each of the other to obtain the use of the block, that can cooperate with each of the others, so that the one must separate the lever to device, the release lever of the device, and the other man block station, permitting the operator to display the signal with the desired movement of the train at the same time, looking at his own machine in such a way that he cannot display the opposing signal. The control manual block system rules in effect. The train may run over the signal and notification supersede with the timetable superiority that takes place with the train ordered circuits in the section of the track between the block stations A and B. Alright, this shows a circuit control manual block without sidings. So it's your circuits for control manual block station A and block station B. Your control relays, electronic locks A and B. Which are also interlocking stations that are shown in Figure 4 of the circuits only with the one track that's shown, but there are multiple tracks operated with the controlled manual block rules. The circuits for the other tracks are practically the same as those shown for the one track. The block station and the signal 14 govern the movement of the block station B, while the signal 10 of the block station B governs the movement of the block station A. Before either the signal can be cleared with the signalman, each of the block station must manipulate the levers to predetermine order with the block station that was and called the track lever. The lever is the lever in normal position movements can be made with toward with the particular block station, while the track lever's reverse position movements can be moved in the block station. The circuit shown the track lever at each of the block station normal position. The machine in the block station A, which controls the interlocking mechanical interlocking machine, while the block station B with the electrical interlocking. Figure 5 shows the electrical locked circuit control indicator machine. The traffic FMC of the block station A is not part of the interlocking machine, but the separate unit known as the electrical lock sophomore indicator of the circuit control is shown with the Figure 5 normal position lever B with the indicating position. Track lever of the position B is part of the interlocking machine that is numbered 11 with having the two position normal and reverse. A block signal A is either electrical between the traffic lever of the FMCK with the signal lever 14, while the block station B with the mechanical locking between the track lever 14 and signal lever 10. The block station A and B are located approximately 6 miles apart in this particular layout. There are no sidings between them, no grades of the surface, and other local conditions are desirable operated under the absolute block from A to B, but from B from B to A, permissive block is allowed. Their signal at the 14 is at A is only 2 positions, displaying stop and clear, while the signal at 10 at B is 3 positions, displaying stop, permissive, and clear. Assuming the train movement is to be made from the A to B signal movement A to communicate with the signalman B with the coordinates for the Rule 317B. If there is no reason why the movement cannot be made, the signal A, well, they'll see that the lever FMK with the B indicated with the position signal B, and B at B will move this knife circuit controller to the opposite position from the shown, which will relieve the lever FMK with the show if A follows the B in the block station. B for the back contact with the relay Z with the wire Z1 with the contact with the traffic lever L with the traffic lever 11 closed in the normal position, while wire Z2 with the contact with the knife circuit controller closed with the reverse position, while wire Z3 the contact with all the track relays between the block station B and A to ensure that the block is unoccupied by the wire Z10 through the contact with the knife circuit controller at the block station A the normal position Z11 through the contact instrument MK closed between at B and R position. The wire Z12 through the coils of the relay Z and wire Z13 through the contact instrument FMK closed between the B and R position, with the wire Z14 through the another set of the contacts and the track relays between the block station A and B for the protection caused as the grounds of the wire Z21 for the contact track lever 11 closed in normal position, wire Z22 for the back contact with the relay Z and C, Z to C with the circuits energizing the relay Z for the block station A, which will limit light lamp the ZE as follows: the BX10 through the form of the contact relay Z for the wire ZE1, ZE, and CX10 with the also relay Z10 and A energized and complete with the circuit with the B from the with the contact with the relay Z wire with the FMK1 from the contact lever Contact single lever 14 closed with the normal position wire FMK2 from the contact FMK closed from between the B and D positions wire FMK3 through the coils of FMKC with the energized with the coil with the lock of the instrument of the FMK, thereby releasing the lever of the FMK so that it may be moved to the R position. As soon as the lever is passed with the D position, contact BD will be open and de-energized with the coil for the FMK closing. The armature checking the contacts will then complete the circuit with the B from the armature contact with the FMK closed with the lock of the FMK is de-energized through the contact of the FMK closed with the R position from the 14 FL1 with the closed electrical lock FL of the single lever of the 14 through the latch attached contact with the same lever C. The release single lever of the 14 normal position permitting to be moved to the reverse position, which causes the signal 14 to display the clear signals completed with the circle with the B from the normal contact at the time of the release of the 14 TE with the wire 14 H1 through the contact relay S for the stick relay controlled with the relay Z to ensure that the track is unoccupied between A and B, the wire 14H2 through the contact single lever, the 14 closed in reverse position, wire 14H3 through the coils of the rear relay 14HR with the wire 14H4 through the contact with single lever 14 closed with the reverse position to C, relay 14HR now energizes causes the signal 14 display a preceding indication that the circuits are not being shown on these conditions. The signal man B cannot unlock the traffic lever 14, therefore could not move the single lever 10 to the right, mechanical locking between lever 10, lever 11 and 10 is such a lever that the 11 must be in reverse position before lever 10 can be moved into the R position before the track can be set up for B and to A. The single lever at 14A must be in normal position. All track sections must be A and B unoccupied by the instrument FMK at the L position. The circuit that allows the return of the single lever 14 in the normal position form of the B with the black contact or relay 14HR with the wire 14L1 from the contact of the relay repeating and approaching the signal with the 14 and wire 14L2 from the back of the contact relays S with the wire 14L3 for the coils with the lock L for the lever 14 with the latch contact of lever 14C with the release of the circuit provided through the time of the release of 14TE should necessary to restore the signal lever 14 to the normal position before the train in which it has been reversed and passed signal 14. The release for the pass to the back of the contact the relay 17 relay S with the wire 14L4 through the back of the contact time release 14TE and the wire 14LF. The time that has been released for the 14TE set depends on the distance between signal 14 and approaching the signal, which in the case that has been set at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The single lever, the 14 normal position lever, the FMK release of the circuit previously described in the FMK may be placed in the L position as follows by B through the contact relay Z for the FMK1 through the contact lever 14 closed the normal position, while the wire FMK2 through the FMK3 FMK2 through the contact instrument FMK closed between the B and D position, where FMK3 to coil the instrument FMK to C. The brain movement from B to A. Signalman A will then move the FMK to the low L position. The knife circuit with the controller with the reverse position. This will permit the signalman at the B to reverse traffic lever, and the circuit can be traced in much the same manner as described in releasing the FMK to A, with the lever instrument of the FMK to L, and the L position will be in the single lever of the 14 locked in the normal position N. Since signal 10 at B can be displayed in permissive identification following trains, therefore a short track circuit approximately 300 feet immediately advanced for the signal ensure that regardless of whether the signal is permissive or clear, it will be returned to the stop position as soon as the train passes it, and again will be displayed in either the preceded position unless the signalman restores the lever to the normal position and moves the C into the permissive of the R into clear position. The circuits are similar to those described in Chapter 20 of the interlocking circuits. The other circuits of the figure are about the same as already described herein and described in Chapter 20. If the siding of the track which train may be clear with the main track are located between the block stations and necessary to provide with certain safeguards on the switches of these sidings of the track to prevent the operation will be released with the signalman one of the adjacent block stations. Figure 6 illustrates the track arrangement where there are two sidings between the block station A and B and C, with the B in control through A and D from D. In this particular installation, the circuits arranged will allow the train to leave the eastward siding of the switch to enter the leaving of the siding of the switch D. This installation block station A and B will be equipped with a mechanical interlocking circuit to control LFMK and FMK as shown in Figure 7, in which also noted with the instrument with the LFMK. There will be locking segments cut differently as shown in Figure 4 with the normal position, both the levers to be indicating position. Smooth movement to be made from A to B B, the signalman of the A will communicate with the signalman of the B in accordance with Rule 17B. The signalman at B will move the instrument LFMK with the lower L position with the knife the circuit controller to reverse the position, which will complete the circuit from B at the B station from the front contact relay at 08, 09, 010 TPR wire FMK for 1 through the contact signal lever to 10 closed with the normal position FMK 2 without armature contact instruments with the LFMK closed with the lock of the de-energized through the lever contact FMK closed with the L position, the LFMK1 through the knife circuit controller is closed with the reverse position, the LFMK2 through the control contact hand circuit controller, the DL closed with the normal position, LFMK3 through the front contact relay of 07TR with the wire LFMK4 through the front of the contact relay 06TR with the wire LFMK5 through the front contact relay of 05TR wire LFMK6 through the contact relay 0T4TR with the LFMK4 or 7 through the contact with the knife's control switch with the block station. It was closed normal position LFMK8 through the contactor level of the LFMK closed between the R and B position wire of the LFMK9 with the controls to the coil of the instrument LFMK through another contact lever of the LFMK closed between R and B position the LFMK the wire LFMK10 through the front of the relay with the 04TR with the wire LFMK11 from the front contact the relay 05TR with the wire LFMK12 through the front contact relay of the 06TR wire LFMK13 through the front contact the relay 07TR with the wire LFMK14 through the contact lever of the LFMK block station B with the close the L position through the armature contact instrument LFMK closed when the lock is in de-energized with the LFMK15 through the contact relay 08, 09, 010 TPR to C with the circuit completed with the de-energized the instrument of the LFMK through thereby releasing the lever of the LFMK so that it may be moved to the R position. The circuit is similar to the relay signal circuit in Figure 4 with the addition with the control through the contacts, ensuring the switch is leading to deciding the normal position locked before the apparatus of the block station can be released with the lever LFMK at the block station A and R in position closed in circuit and completed with the B through the front of the relay 01000 0102003 TPR with the wire FMK1 through the contact with the single lever of the 14 closed with the normal position wire FMK2 with the contact lever of the LFMK closed in the R position while the LFMK3 wire through the contact lever of the FMK closed between B and D position to coil the instruments at FMK to C. Alright, this shows the LFMK and the TPIs and the trips and the relays. This is the armature, the eastward siding between block station A and B. And it shows C and D and the side tracking the LFMK switch. This is the circuits controlled by the manual block switching on the siding. Went through the circuitry of that. Figure 7 shows the interlocked circuit controllers. As a level instrument, the LFMK is moved to the R position, released with the mechanical locking between the lever of the LFMK and the FMK. The coil of the instrument LFM of the FMK energized the lever to be moved to the R position with the lever of the FMK, the R position lever contact, which is closed between the B and D position, open and de-energized the coil of the FMK to complete the circuit of B for the armature contact of the lever FMK closed. When the lock is de-energized, the contact of the lever FMK with the relay closed with the R position wire 14FL1 through the lock magnet FL on the lever 14 with the latch for the contact of lever 14 to C. The release of the single lever of the 14 for the normal position, allowing the signal to be displayed and permissive clear indication. Assuming the movement of the eastward siding of the C with the block station B instead of the from A to B with the necessary of the signal man for the A to secure the unlock of the B for the already explained for the inside of the moving the lever instrument FMK to the R position, which would be moved to the L position, moving the lever of the FMK to the L position, complete A circuit for the B through the armature contact of the FMK closed with the lock is de-energized through the contact of the relay FMK closed for the L position, wire CWL1 through the coil of the electrical circuit with the CWL on the switch of the C with the wire CLWL2 with the contact of the FMK closed with the L position 2C with the permanent the switch of the unlock of the reverse after the movement can be made from the setting of the C, which I also noted with the signal 14 of the block station, the 3 position permissive indicator can be displayed if necessary. A short track circuit is provided in advance for the signal with the same as described the connection with the single tank for the figure 4 with the movement that has been started with the block station A and B that must be cleared with the clear of the track of the circuits between A and B with the signalman at A can be released the instrument from the B at B from the move to A, B to A. The circuit is then moved practical and identically to those described in unlocking A and B should be very readily traced. Assuming the train is moving to the block station A and B, the necessary for the train to enter the sighting of the switch of the traffic must be established from the block station A and B to previously described. When the train arrives at the switch D, will stop the track circuit of the 07T, will de-energize the track relay or 07TR, but the conductor of this train has the signal man of the block station B to unlock the signal switch. The siding switch with the signal man and would be move the lever DL to the L position, which completed the circuit for the B through the contact of the DL closed to L position of the DWR3 with the coils relay with the DWR wire to the DWR2 through the contact of DL closed with the L position C. This will be energized with the polarized relay of the DWR with the polar contacts to be closed with the reverse position, which will complete another circuit from the wire DRWR3 to the DWL3 with the coils electrical lock of the DWL to switch DW wire WL2, which may be back on the contact of the relay 07TR with the wire to DWL4 with the reverse polar and front neutral contact for the DWR to the wire DWR2 with the contact on the high-end circuit with the control and the DL closed in the L position, this will permit unlocking the switch D so that we can be reversed the movement made from the siding after the train is reporting clear of the main track. Switching closed locked, it will again be locked in signal band B and by the D and L being moved in the end position. Should it be necessary to make the movement from the siding of the switch for the D to block station signal man B from the would be first established the track definition of B to A to the left of the LFM after the lever LFMK at B has been moved to the R position. The LFMK will be moved to the L position, which moves to complete the circle for them to be A from the armature contact of the FMK closed for the lock is de-energized through the lever contact of the FMK closed to the L position of the wire DWR1 through the contact of DL closed between the NR position of the wire to the DWR2 through the coils relay to the DWR wire DWR3 for the contact of DL closed position of the neutral and NR position of the wire DWR4 with the contact with the FMK closed with the L position to continue, which will energize the relay of the WR with the cause of the normal polar contacts with which complete the circuit of the wire with the DWR2 for the neutral non-polar contacts with the DWR with the DWL2, the DWL1 and wire WL2 for the contact with the electrical to DWL as the switch side of D, which with the wire DWL3 and the wire DWR3 with the contact of DL closed between the N and R position. Wire DWL4 will contact the FMK closed with the L position to the C with the switch D will then can be unlocked and reverse the movement to the main track after the train has been held with the traffic as long as it occupies any of the track of the circuits between the block B and A. The circuits are complete control with the operating until the block station with the A and B that are in essence shown since they're similar to previously described. The circuits of the figure 6 that are then or for only one track, they should be an additional main tracks between the block station A and B with the operated with the control block manual block system rules. They be arranged and controlled in a similar manner. Various schemes of circuits other than these shown in the current chapter are used in between block station with the control manual block system rules, but they are arranged to accomplish the same result. The main requisite for which they are continuous track circuits done automatic release of the signals display that they are most restrictive indication of the locking between the block station outlining the switches of the train and engine when they enter the clear of the block, indicating the lock to ensure the signal display there is most restrictive indication before the signals opposing movements are unlocked and approaching signals. Certain installations are the services and control manual block system rules and effective the opposing movements to automatic block system or following the movements in which either direction of the traffic that must be set up in which such a manner that is described after the track has been established from a train may be follow each of the other same track of the same automatic block system territory and described in chapter 25 or 15 automatic block signal systems. Fundamental theory of direct current.